Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Bishop, and I am currently a senior UX writer at Rentspree and a UX writer at the Discovery Channel. Here, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple samples of my work and my reasoning and how I arrived to certain conclusions and any special steps I had to take to reach final copy. So the first example will be for the Discovery Channel, Discovery Plus. I was tasked with editing the copy for a delete notifications pop-up. So how this pop-up worked is that the user first, this is a new feature for users. Initially, what they needed to do was swipe left to begin deleting the notification. And then the second step was that the user must then press X to confirm the deletion. And then lastly, a pop up was presented to the user to further confirm the deletion. Even though I was asked to only edit the copy on the delete notification pop-up, I found there were some issues here, that there were too many requirements for such a simple action. And that truthfully, deleting notifications for a streaming service is not a high risk action and doesn't require this many steps. And also that there's too much copy in the prompt itself. My recommendation was to eliminate this multiple step process and eliminate this process for any low risk actions within the app for the user and to eliminate the prompt altogether. Um, I also recommended that we remove the user requirement to swipe left and just allow the X to be there and be stagnant. But this is a feature that they wanted to keep, so we kept it. Um, so we deleted the delete notification pop up. And this was the result of that. So now the user swipes left to reveal their options, and they added the ability for them to mute notifications for particular shows instead of going into their settings, which is nice. And the X button to me has a more user friendly design. A little bit easier target to hit with your thumb than just a big X where um, it's unsure which place around the X was proper to delete, and now you have a circle around it, and it's much easier target. For this, initially I was siloed off as a writer, just editing copy as it was assigned to me. But when I brought this issue up to the designer, they brought it up to the larger management team. And after being siloed for the last month, I was finally brought into larger meetings. And now I'm involved in copy at a much earlier stage. And now I work directly with the designers rather than just a member of the copy team. So that was also another nice result of this delete notifications task. The next example I will show you will be for the company I work for called Rentspree. My assigned task was to do a UX writing audit of the user flow of adding a listing to the Rentspree platform. So here, our main users are real estate agents who handle rental properties. They come to our site in order to do simple things like tenant screening and rental applications, as well as possibly uploading certain properties to keep track and listings on our site. The issue with this user flow is that a user cannot add a property, cannot add a listing, apologies, without adding a property first. The user must upload a property before they add a listing. But when they log into their dashboard, they are asked to click My Listings, as you can see up in the left-hand corner, and they are presented with the option, multiple options of adding their first listing. The issue with this flow is that they're then asked to add a new property and confirm that property. But at the end of that flow, they then are shown a tab that asks them to create a listing page. Issue here is through that whole process, they thought they were creating a listing page when in fact they were just creating the property only. So, in order to fix that, I realized we needed to define the difference between a listing and a property, how agents use those terms, and how we use those terms in relation to our service and our website. So, in all the places that they wrote active listing, my listings, add new listing, um, it had come to my attention we needed to change that wording. So we defined the terms. Also, in an effort to continuously brand our language, I recommended that we put the word rent or rental in front of as many words as possible for branding purposes. So instead of just calling it a property, we call it a rental property, or instead of a listing, it's a rental listing. So the defining terms are when proper rental property is used, it's only used when referring to a rental that has been uploaded onto our platform for non-marketing purposes. And that a rental listing is used to refer to a rental that has been uploaded onto our platform for marketing purposes, which can either be active or inactive. And then we also reference it as a listing when we're referencing other websites like the MLS. But any other listing websites, we are not concerned about where they have their property. We're only concerned about the properties they upload and the listings they list on our website. I also included application rules, how these how rental property and rental listing are to be used throughout our website and post login. So the changes that I recommended is that we change the title up in the left-hand corner to a more umbrella term like my rentals. And then the drop-down menu will include things like active listings, inactive listings, and all properties. Then down below, instead of in this empty state, instead of prompting the user to add their first listing, we will prompt them to add their first property. And then in the body below, we describe what they can do with that property. Create a listing from that property, screen tenants with that property, or manage a lease, etc. with that property. We want to show them what they can do with the property once they've created it. And then the CTA will be add new property as well. That will be the same change up in the right-hand corner. And then once the user has added their property, this page will make much more sense that they will then create a listing page from that property. So those are two issues that I've solved currently with UX writing. Um, the way I approach problems is not always what kind of copy do we need here, but it is more of how did the user get here? What is their mindset when they get here? And what goal are they trying to reach? And are we making it clear on how they can then reach that goal with our product or service? So that is the end of my presentation. I appreciate you taking the time, and that is for me.